Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be reviewing Big City Greens Season 1 Episode 10 B, called DIY Guys. And before I start, please subscribe to my channel. Alright, let's begin, and no clip this time, sorry. We start with, we get to see Remy again. Hooray! Because we saw him in, Cricket, no, Cricket said it, that was terrible, sorry. Critter Balls, but we didn't see him in Parade Day. So we get to see him again in DIY Guys, which is great. This is kind of like a Bill and Remy episode. There's A plot, B plot, C plot, but the A plot is Bill and Remy kind of bonding, kind of like a father-son bonding, sort of. I would be safe to say so. Even Remy has another dad who's loving, caring to him. We see that in Remy Rescue by the end, that they allowed Remy to stay friends with Cricket and Tilly. So, but I guess it's like another father figure for Remy, I guess, because Bill does teach Remy something, and Remy teaches Bill something. But we'll get to that later. So we see Remy, Cricket, and Tilly, and Cricket's like, oh, I'm gonna use this vacuum to suck up all the carrots and to show how powerful vacuums are. And it's like, all right, like, and he's like, let's see how many seconds. 1, and it just broke the vacuum. And Remy's like, 2, and Cricket's like, Remy, are you being mean? Are you messing with me, or is that just ignorance? And Bill's like, Cricket, like, what'd you do? And he's like, it's not my fault that this vacuum, you can't suck up carrots. And he's like, oh, this vacuum's broken. And Remy's like, well, we better call him to fix it, Mr. Green. And, Bill's like, no, Remy, and I'm not going to do that. I'm a DIY guy. And Remy's looking it up, like, DIY. And, Bill's like, it stands for do it yourself. And, like, don't your parents ever fix things by themselves? And Remy's like, nope, we just use money. And he just swiped the credit card, like, on his phone, and a drone just, gave something to Bill. It's like, oh, this is for you, Mr. Green. Something for the house is like a knickknack, and, or what was it, like a bear or something? And he's like, okay, and he just put it in his pocket. And he's like, but Remy, I'm worried about you that you don't know the first thing about self-reliance. And Cricket's like, oh, Tilly, Dad's going to his self-reliance speech again, and Tilly's on the ground. She's like, oh, I can't hear him because I died of boredom. Again, her acting skills. And Craig's like, oh, me too. Blah. And and Bill's like, don't listen to them, Remy. Like I always found myself to be self-reliant, because that's how I was back in the country. I grow my own food, I change my own oil, and I also cut my own hair. I cut my own hair. And he took off his hat, and you see his hair is all messed up. And he's like, he put his hat back on, and he said, it'll grow out. And and Remy's like, wow, I wish I could be more self-reliant like you. And and Bill's like, you know what, Remy? I'm going to show you the ropes. I'm going to show you how to be self-reliant. You're going to help me fix this vacuum. And Remy's like, all right, so, okay, come on, kids. Let's go. And, Tilly and Cricket get up. They follow Bill and Remy to the hardware store. And, they go to the car, and, into the truck. They got out of the truck. And, they see, like a person wearing, like, a uniform, overalls. And he's like, oh, like, hello, like, if you need any help, just, like, ask someone. If you need help in the hardware store, ask someone with this uniform. And Bill's like, no thanks. I was actually born in the, the plumbing section of a hardware store. I think I know my way around. Come on, kids. Let's go find a door that we can open ourselves. And they open the door, and, Bill's like, well, wow, this is a bigger hardware store that we had back in the country. And Remy's like, how are we supposed to find anything here? And Bill's like, use your eyes, Remy, look at the signs. And the signs are just gibberish. Or, like, in a language, he's like, Kibbalar, Svavik. And Bill's like, huh. And he's like, all right, Remy, come on. And the Remy's like in a the shopping cart where the little kid goes in the seat, and Remy's like, you don't have to say anything because Bill's giving him a look. Like Remy's like, you don't have to say anything. I knew it was wrong when I got in, but I want to try it out anyway. And the shopping cart fell on him, and then he's like crawling on the ground, and Bill's like, "Jeez Louise." And then this is like the B plot. Cricket's in the B plot where this lady's like, Todd, and Cricket's like, huh? Like, Todd, it's your turn to drive the forklift. Good thing you wore your uniform this time. Oh yeah, I am wearing overalls. That means I work here. Is it okay, Todd? I need you to drive the forklift. Like, forklift? Bingo, bango. So this is the thing that I was talking about, that there's no big coffee, but there was a thing special with Cricket where he got a second job now. Oh my god, 10-year-old boy with 2 jobs. And so that's Cricket's B plot. And Bill is with Remy and Tilly. He's like, alright kids, pay attention, stay together, because you can get lost in here. And Tilly's like, oh, gnomes? Yes, please. And there's this guy who's trying to reach for a package, like, a box. And he's like, oh, I guess I'll just go home, but I won't have that thing. Until he's like, oh, who's going to help that poor man get his thing? I was like, oh, me. It would be me. And this is the thing I don't like, because I respect property. She was using these tubes, yes, to get the package, but she was making holes into the boxes to, like, help her get up. I was like, dude, that stuff, like, yeah, I'm taking a point off. I was like, you're causing damage to those. And Bill, Tilly just grabbed the box for him, and he's like, oh, my thing. And she ran across the what do you call it, the top shelf, and the guy was like, who was that? And you see Tilly running, and you look down, and there's Bill and Remy, and he's like, all right, how are we gonna find this a vacuum belt? Because that's what they're looking for. And they make a turn, and Remy's like, oh, look, what were they called, vacuumbas? And he's like, oh, the miniature vacuums. And he's like, oh, my parents have 5 at home. It's like hey, Mr. Green, if you had one of these, you won't have to fix your vacuum. And Bill's like looking around at the different signs of finding a vacuum belt, and he's like, where are we? And Remy's like, Mr. Green, and he's like, what? I think this one likes you. And Bill's like, Remy, put that disgrace machine away. We're gonna go find that vacuum belt. Oh, here's another thing I just remembered is that when Bill said like put that disgrace away, he literally threw it. I was like, Remy, I know you're rich, but come on, don't do that. So I'm taking another point off, please. Remy, that was irresponsible. And we go back to Cricket with his B plot with the forklift. He's like, oh, no hands. Tag, you're it. He's up, down, up, down, up, down. He's like, oh, this is the best. He's driving with his feet. And the lady, it's like, the boss lady, it's like, oh, Todd, if you're just going to goof around, I'll get someone else to run the forklift because we need you to lift these. And he's like, oh, sure thing, boss. So Cricket's actually going to work. Okay, that's nice. We get back to Tilly, or I should call her, because we actually hear her. It's like, she's doing her introduction. It's like, oh, like some people can't get their packages, oh, but I can, I'm like stuck in the night waiting for someone who needs help, and if someone says, can somebody reach that, I'll say, yes, that's why I'm here, that's why I have become Tilly Top Shelf. I like it when she acts, when she's an actress and doing different characters and stuff. It's pretty funny. So, okay, she's Tilly Top Shelf now. And she's kind of like Spider-Man. She has like a measuring tape that she uses to swing around. That's pretty funny. we go back to Bill and Remy, where Bill's like, okay, if we make another turn, we should be the vacuum belt right now. Wait, and what? And Remy's like, oh, it's the vacuum bus again. And Bill's like, what? What? This place doesn't make any sense. And like the lady's like the boss lady that Cricket was talking to, he's like, oh, do you guys need help with something? And Bill's like, Remy, do we need anything help? Do we need anything? Sorry, do we need any help? And Remy's like, oh yes, ma'am. We're looking for a vacuum belt. And it's like, oh, do we just go that way? And Bill's like, no, don't listen to her. And she's like, and he's like, self-reliant, block the help. And Remy's like, ah. And she just like me, during the episode, she was like, weirdos. And and Remy's like, Mr. Green, where are we going? And like, he's like, maybe we should ask for help. And Bill's like, no, DIY means never asking for help. That's basically the lesson is you ask for help, basically. And and then Remy's like, Mr. Green, do you know where you're going? And he's like, don't worry, son, I know where I'm going. So kind of like the father figure, son figure type of thing. And they go to this dark alley, which is really creepy. And then you see this girl, crazy girl. He's like, oh, are you looking for, what was it, like double A batteries? Oh jeez. And he's like, no thank you. He protects Remy, which was good. This is a crazy lady in a dark alley in the store. And he's like, and she's like, oh, like, don't worry. We've only been here for like, how long did she say? 5 years or something? And it wouldn't be too long, right, Randy? And like the hat fell off. It's just a skeleton. So did he die? I don't know. But Bill gets Remy out of there. Like, and they ran out of there. We go back to Cricket's B plot, where he's like, okay, Todd, just let the cement bags. He's like, watch this, employees. Yeah, this is an accident. He accidentally he accidentally used like the forklift to, like, it punctures the bags, all the cement comes out, and one of the workers is like, what the heck are you doing, Todd? He's like, oh, I'm sorry, and he's like pressing out the buttons because he doesn't know how to work it, and the cement flies around. It goes into water. It goes into employees. It's like, oh no, cement went on. And he's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. He just backs away. And all the people that were around that got hit with the cement and water, they're just kind of frozen a little bit, their legs and arms and stuff. And we go back to the A plot with Bill and Remy. Is it? Oh, we finally got their vacuum belt, and then we did it. And Remy's like, wow, Mr. Green, you're right. We never had to ask for help ever. And then like when Cricket was backing up, actually back at the B plot, he knocked down some of the shelves, and they were going backwards, toppling against each other. And then it goes into the A plot where Remy's like, Mr. Green, watch out! And and Bill's like, what was that, Remy? And he dropped the vacuum belt, and he catched the shelf that was about to fall on top of him and Remy. And Remy's like, oh my god, Mr. Green, are you okay? It's like, yeah, don't worry, Remy, I'm fine. And these toilets are falling around him. Like, this is very dangerous. And he's like, and Bill's like, holy porcelain, I think is what he said. And Remy's like, don't worry, Mr. Green, I'll be right there. And a toilet falls next to Remy. And it's very dangerous. And Remy's like, actually, I'll be right here. And Bill's like, oh, don't worry, Remy, I can hold it. And more toilets are following closer and closer to Bill. And Remy's like, don't worry, Mr. Green, I'll call for help. Help. He's like, oh, my voice can't travel. I can't do it. But Mr. Green can. Mr. Green, you have to call for help. Mr. Green. And, Bill's like, no, DIY means you never ask for help. And this is basically the lesson. And Remy's like, that's ridiculous. Everyone needs help sometimes. If it's to help you, to save you from a shelf of falling toilets, or to help you get into your onesie at night. But it's nice to know when life gets too overwhelming, it's nice to know that you don't have to tackle it alone. And Bill's like, help. And Remy's like, louder, Mr. Green. He's like, help. And he's like, more shriller. He's like, help! Like, more crazier, like a wounded animal. And the toilet is about to fall on top of Bill's head. He's like, help! It's like, and it's carrying around the hardware store. And Top Shelf Tilly hears it. And he's like, oh, she's like, I'm needed. And she uses her Spider-Man powers, the tape measure, to get to Bill, her father. And Cricket has his like redemption of the B plot, where also the Tilly was like her C plot basically. And he's like, oh, it caused so much destruction with this thing. If only I could like do some good with it. And he hears his father. He's like, help! And Cricket's like, Dad, I'm coming, Dad. And Bill's like, help! And the toilet falls almost on top of Bill. And Remy's like, ah! And Tilly just kicks it, like super kicks the toilet out from like Bill. Like it was about to fall on top of Bill, and she just kicks it, and the toilet smashes. And and then she's like, oh, Papa, are you alright? And Bill's like, oh, my daughter, you saved me. But the shelf is still about to fall on top of Bill because he no longer is holding it. And Cricket's like, ah! And he just basically lifted the shelf back into place. And Bill's like, oh, my sweet daughter, and sorry, I'm mumbling. He's like, Remy, you saved me. And he's like, we did it together, Mr. Green. And he's like, and where's my son? And Cricket's like, oh, I'm right here. Come here, big guy. And he accidentally hit the switch, so the forklift is pushing the shelves this way instead of that way. So he's going away from them, and the whole place is just, devastated. And Cricket just moved he just moved the forklift down. Bill, Tilly, and Remy go onto it. He lifts it up and he just carries them away. Excuse me. And then I guess assuming Tilly and Cricket are outside or somewhere else, or in the room, or probably. Yeah, they're probably in the room, where you just see Bill and Remy back with the A plot, where they're say, hey, Remy, you want to put the vacuum belt in? And he's like, oh, sure, Mr. Green. And Bill's like, hey, Remy, you taught me a valuable lesson, like about self-reliance. You taught me how it's okay for me to ask for help, and now I have a new policy. Make sure to always DIY unless you're about to DEI. Wait, that doesn't sound right. What do you say? Make sure to always DIY unless you're about to die. The DIE die. I don't know. It didn't kind of rhyme, but that's basically Bill's motto now. And Remy fixed it. He said, "Oh, I think I got him, Mr. Green." And he's like, "Hey, Remy, you did it." And Remy said, "I feel it, Mr. Green. I think I feel the self-reliance. We can fix anything." And Remy didn't do right, so it's more broken. And Bill basically coming to terms. He's like, "Remy, can you call a repairman?" He's like, "One step ahead of you." End of the episode. Yeah, this was a 9 out of 10. Just like the first half was a 9 out of 10. So overall, this was a fantastic episode. 90%. This was an A. Really liked it. I liked how Cricket had a second job, but he probably, just got fired or something. Hopefully the lady recognized he wasn't Todd, and Todd still has his job. And I liked Top Shelf Tilly. That was a fun plot. Cricket with the forklift. That was pretty funny. Bill and Remy's A plot about them bonding, father-son bonding, sort of. And, teaching Remy how to be self-reliant, how you have to do some things yourself sometimes. And Remy basically teaching Bill that sometimes it's okay for you to ask for help when things get too overwhelming and life gets too stressful. It's okay to ask for help, and that's the lesson. And I really liked the lesson. So yeah, this was an A. So everyone, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell. Give me a big thumbs up. Leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for. I'm not sure it could either be the Owl House episode titles, but it's kind of unlikely. But who knows? I might get to it. Like it might finally come. So that might be tomorrow, or it will be Big City Greens, season 1, episode 11. Oh, what was it called? I forgot. Yeah, I can't remember from the top of my head. Sorry, but I'll do. Yep, tomorrow is it's. Yeah, I think tomorrow's gonna be episodes 11 and 12 for Big City Green season 1. So, all right, bye.